In terms of, I guess, most common types of claims that you see on TV and film projects, what would you say those are?
Well, we always joke and say that, we can get through most projects without claims. The majority don't have claims, but invariably somebody is going to bang up a car, right? We always get the cars, right? It's the constant, somebody's backing out, a PA hits a post or another car, right? Invariably, you're going to get a car claim. Like, it just seems to happen. As a result, and in response to that, the insurers have put relatively high deductibles on vehicle claims now, because they don't want to, like, you'll find most carriers, their minimum deductible is about $2,500 for a vehicle claim, and it'll be a bit of a sliding scale depending on the value of the vehicle, the amount of the claim, and so we see the car claims, but they're easy, and you deal with them. The more complicated ones, certainly when the pandemic happened, I mean, bit of an unusual thing for us to be dealing with, but what we triggered there was civil authority coverage. And so for all of our film producer clients that had interruptions, they were able to access coverage, whereas, commercial enterprises they didn't have coverage available under their business interruption. So that was hugely valuable when we came into the pandemic. I also do a lot of live entertainment as well, so theater, dance, opera. And again, that was an area, fortunately, we had coverage for the pandemic and the interruptions and the closures and cancellations that were caused by that. Now, what we now have are exclusions, obviously, on all the policies, right? Of course, the insurers, I always joke that, once something like this happens, you're never going to see the communicable disease exclusion come off of these policies, right? Like, we still see volcanic ash exclusions on policies after that. Remember I think it was Iceland, right? That had the volcano erupt, put all of that up into the atmosphere. There were flights canceled and all of that. We still see volcanic ash exclusions, and yet that was the biggest incident. Anyway, but when you get into civil authority, that is something we do see claims on. Things will occur that will shut down a location. May shut down a set, could shut down a studio. Those are things that we see. Damage to locations, for sure, we see a lot of those claims. So when you're shooting in somebody's business or shooting in someone's home, floors can get damaged, walls can get damaged, fires can be started, sprinklers can be set off. You can have lights get too close to the fusible link on a sprinkler head, boom, pops it. Thousands of gallons of water gushing out over your set. We've seen those. Data loss you can run into, but I really don't see a lot of it. I'd be interested to poll my colleagues on it and see what they say. But I think we see less of it. There's more opportunity now to fix a lot of these things in your post environment, right? Yeah. At one time, you had to go back to camera and you had to shoot it. Like, there was just no way. Whereas, sometimes an issue with a lens or an issue with, might be able to be fixed by a good post person, right? So we don't see as many of those anymore. Equipment claims, definitely, you'll get equipment stolen or damaged. Again, value of equipment has come down a lot over the years. Like, I remember when you had film cameras that we were insuring and lens packages, you were into the millions of dollars for this stuff. We don't have those same values anymore. And then cast, your cast claims. Again, they don't happen a lot. But if a cast member is sick, if a cast member injures themselves, while shooting or well off, those are all things that we see claims on as well. And those risks are definitely assessed by underwriters. So if you have a relatively low risk project, cast issues aren't the same. But if you have a higher risk thing where the cast is getting closer to some of the action, right? You want to put your star on the back of a horse. I can tell you the insurers are going to be uncomfortable with that, because we have people fall off horses. Look at Christopher Reeve, what happened there. I mean, that's many, many years ago. Cast, not as frequently, but I would say that if you rank them, you'd be like damage to equipment, damage to locations, triggers a couple of different coverages around fixing the damage, replacing the equipment, And then also paying the extra costs. Maybe you have to find a new location. So, there's an added cost that's going into the budget that you didn't anticipate, or there's additional rental time, or there's delays, interruptions in the shooting schedule, and then we have to pick up those added costs at the end. So those are all things that get captured by the what they typically call an entertainment insurance package or a production package.